All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we are unpacking a truly fascinating framework that's completely designed to reshape how we approach personal fulfillment and family harmony. We're exploring what's called the G method. Now, we're not diving into this to endorse it as the absolute truth, but rather we're looking at it neutrally as a highly structured system. It's honestly a really interesting methodology that claims you can take your everyday, mundane frustrations and turn them into a stepping stone for life-changing gratitude. So, let's get into it.
Here is the roadmap for our explainer today. We're going to hit the developer's journey, flaws in traditional methods, the God of space theory, the spatial tweeting steps, real-world impact, and finally, support for consistency.
Starting with Section 1, the developer's journey from personal struggles to a global mission.
It is absolutely crucial to understand the creators behind this, Yuki and Kunio Kanuchi, because they didn't just invent this system in some sterile lab. In their 30s, after they left the corporate world to start their own independent business, this couple faced an absolute mountain of stress. We're talking unpredictable business results, their kids were dealing with severe bullying and academic struggles, and they themselves were battling intense social anxiety. So they basically used their own family as a testing ground to find a way out of these compounded crises. By their 60s, having found a system that actually worked for them, they formalized the G method. But here's where it gets really amazing. At age 66, instead of just retiring comfortably to a beach somewhere, they relocated to Asuncion, Paraguay. Their ultimate global mission? To help eliminate child starvation by contributing to sustainable agriculture and aquaculture projects. Talk about a hero's journey, right?
Moving to Section 2, flaws in traditional methods and why conventional success systems fail.
Before building their own system, Kunio really dug into existing self-improvement seminars and capacity-building programs, and he found some massive universal roadblocks. According to the creators, traditional methods often create what they literally call unhappy, wealthy people. You know the type. You might make a ton of money, but your family completely falls apart or your health just deteriorates. Plus, traditional seminars are kind of notorious for choosing their successful candidates, meaning only a select few get actual results, and they often rely on these sneaky bait-and-switch tactics. They start cheap, but then hit you with back-end upsells costing hundreds of thousands of yen. The Kanuchis wanted the exact opposite. They designed the G method from the ground up to prioritize holistic, accessible balance for literally anyone, regardless of their current bank account status.
Section 3, the God of space theory, which is the metaphysical core of the G method.
To understand how this system actually functions, we have to look at its underlying philosophy. Think back, way back, 13.8 billion years ago. According to the methodology, before the Big Bang, there was only a vacuum of space. But here's the catch. This vacuum wasn't just empty nothingness.
The developers suggest that the empty space all around us right now is a direct continuation of that original pre-universe vacuum. They call it the God of space. Now pause for a second, because it's vital to note they are not talking about a religious deity here. Instead, they view the literal empty air right in front of your face as an infinite metaphysical energy source. They theorize that this space holds a physical presence of perfect harmony, love, and joyful energy that surrounds us at all times, just waiting for us to actively engage with it. This brings us to Section 4, spatial tweeting steps, turning negative emotion into gratitude.
So if the space around you is filled with this positive energy, how do you actually use it? The answer is a specific beginner-friendly technique they call spatial tweeting. And the best part? You don't have to start with fake positivity. Step 1 is the ayada, or I hate this tweet. You literally speak out loud into the empty space around you exactly what is stressing you out. You say, I hate that I have no money, or I hate this specific thing my boss does. You can even scream it in your car if you want. By venting directly into this harmonious space, the method claims the negative energy is absorbed and neutralized. Step 2 is the natural emotional shift that follows. The anger organically turns to calm. And that paves the way for Step 3, the 3-stage Kan, or gratitude tweet. Here you express deep thanks for the resolution, thanks to the people involved, and thanks to the space itself. It clears out all that emotional baggage to make room for profound, genuine gratitude.
Section 5, real-world impact, transforming relationships and realities.
Now, I know the theory sounds incredibly abstract, but the developers present deeply emotional, concrete anecdotes of how this spatial tweeting reshaped actual human relationships. Because let's be honest, that is where the true wealth of a fulfilling life lies. Just imagine the emotional weight of this transformation. A wife, completely exhausted by a half-century of cold silence, uses the method to shift her marital dynamic. Suddenly, out of nowhere, her husband starts greeting her when he comes home. The developers shared so many stories like this, where a traditionally angry partner entirely stopped their outbursts or spouses suddenly appeared more attracted to each other again.
These highlights show that the system's primary victories are deeply rooted in healing fractured family dynamics and personal trauma. Look at this. A mother who was struggling with her own abusive tendencies toward her child used the spatial tweeting to completely stop her outbursts, going over a year without a single incident. That is a real game changer. And on the academic front, a high school student ranked at the absolute bottom of their class found their own internal drive and actually got accepted into the prestigious Osaka University Medical School? No way, right?
And hey, though it's not all about the money, the financial success stories are definitely notable too. Users reported unexpected windfalls, winning lotteries, and one user even reported a monthly salary increase of 1.2 million yen after consistently utilizing the method. To put that into perspective, that is a life-altering amount of money to suddenly add to your monthly budget.
Finally, Section 6, Support for Consistency, ensuring you don't quit.
Look, any self-improvement method faces one universal enemy: human nature. We all have a tendency to get fired up, do something once, and then life gets busy and we give up. The creators totally recognize that initial motivation fades. It happens to the best of us. So to ensure those wishes are actually fulfilled, they engineered a two-tiered support system to keep users consistently engaged and practicing their tweets.
So how do you realistically master this if you are a beginner? There are two main paths. The first is the Jimon-kun app. Think of it as a pocket guide for beginners. It's loaded with over 120 learning videos, daily motivational messages, and, get this, a built-in counter that actually tracks your gratitude tweets so you can visually see your progress. Some users log upwards of 20,000 reps. But for those who need a little more tailored support, there's the personal session path. Because everyone's trauma, upbringing, and goals are completely unique, certified coaches offer 10, 21, or 40 one-on-one sessions. They literally help you apply the exact steps of the method to your specific life situation, which immensely accelerates your progress.
By consistently feeding you positive reinforcement, delivering success stories twice a week, and actively tracking those spatial tweets, the app prevents that dreaded motivation drop-off. It basically forces routine, which the developers argue is the absolute bedrock of actually manifesting these life changes. You have to be consistent to see the magic happen.
It really leaves you wondering, doesn't it? If such a small, completely accessible action, just acknowledging your frustration out loud to the physical space around you, could genuinely ripple out to transform your family relationships, boost your career, and shift your entire life trajectory, isn't it worth exploring further? What is the very first thing you'd want to release into the God of Space today? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.